All right, can you guys hear me all right? Yes. So just real quick before we start, we are, if anyone is interested, this weekend on Saturday at 12:30, Cheryl and I are doing an online Zoom meeting that is for teacher training Q&A. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, if you're considering teacher training this coming year, or any year really, but especially this year, because it's the first time that we're offering the online option to do the training. So if you have any questions about the program or how it's going to work or what it might look like, come join us on Saturday at 12:30. Cheryl and I will both be on to answer all of your questions and resolve all of your concerns. So it'll be the same login that you have for regular classes. So it's nothing new or fancy. Just sign on at 12:30 and we'll see where we go. So that's my only announcement, I think. So my thought for you today is I've kind of run myself in this direction, and this is not unusual for me, but I don't think it's unusual for anybody, that since things are starting to accelerate again, right? I feel like things are beginning to accelerate now that there's more opportunities, more things are open, and suddenly, you know, we have appointments and things, and like all of a sudden there's so much stuff to do again. Is what's happening to me is that my to-do list is starting to get a little bit ridiculous, right? How I'm spending my day, I'm already falling back into that pattern of overscheduling, right? And a part of my mind is saying, did you learn nothing the last 3 or 4 months? But you just really weren't paying attention at all to, you know, what that whole period of suspension was. Like, you weren't paying attention at all. And the rest of my mind is like, no, I was paying attention. I'm just not going to do what I know that I learned. So how I'm helping myself through this is, instead of going into that process of what do I need to get done, having a to-do list, I've started looking at my day again as what have I done, right? What have I done list, right? And to me, this brings us back to that there's a moment in the Bhagavad Gita where we realize that the entire story of the Bhagavad Gita, and it's a story of this, you know, gigantic battle that's a metaphor for what goes on in our mind every day. But there's a moment that we realize that the one who's telling the story, the one who's actually relaying the story to us, is relaying it in past tense, right? The question is asked at the very beginning, how did the battle go? Right? And then the story is told as though it's happening in the present moment, but it's introspection. Right? We're told the story as, what did you do? What happened in this day? What happened in this moment? What happened in this battle? As the sort of witnessing of what occurred. And I feel like it's exactly this switch from taking the mind into that forward motion of what do I still have to accomplish that isn't done yet, and instead is looking at how am I using the energy that I have in this present moment, so that at the end of the day you can look back and say, what did I do? Right? What have I done with the time that I have? What have I done with the energy that I have? Right? So that we're not in that forward momentum of everything disappearing into the to-do, into the what should be coming next. It brings us back to knowing, where did I start? Where am I coming from? And therefore, where am I? And is where I'm going, does it make any sense? Right? So it's a way for us to start to slow down again, even as the world might be accelerating on the outside. It allows you to stay a little bit more still. But that moment in the Bhagavad Gita where you realize that you're being asked to witness yourself as though everything's already happened, right? That there is no forward that you have to live into, is that whatever it is that you are generating now in this moment, that's what's going to create that future. That's what's going to be there. The same thing that is happening now, that's what's going to be there, right? So it's teaching us to start to pay attention. What have you done with your life up to this point? What have you done with your energy? Where does your mind habitually go day after day, moment after moment? Because that's the energy that's carrying you forward into whatever it is that you do or don't do, right? So that moment in the Bhagavad Gita for me is the reminder that it doesn't matter what's still in front of you. It doesn't matter what battles might need to be fought. It doesn't matter what situations there still are. What matters is, how are you approaching it? Where are you in this moment? And how is that a representation of what's come before, right? So it's starting to see your mind and see, how is it that I use my mind day after day? Where does it run to over and over again? Because wherever it's running to, that's what's coming with you, right? And if we don't pay attention to it, then we fall right back into the habits, the patterns, the stuff that we tell ourselves when we practice that we're moving away from, right? So comfortable seat if you're not there already. And start to let the eyes close and come back into your breath. And notice the quality of your mind. I've been saying this a lot lately because I think it's so important that we focus on, or we keep remembering that we have the ability to witness our own thoughts. Not to judge them, but to witness them. Because that's how introspection happens. Not from deciding that what we're doing or thinking is right or wrong, but it's from being able to see where we're coming from without judgment. The quality of your mind. Is it racing? Is it slow? Is it full of frustration? Is it full of something else? Is it distracted? Can you start to ask yourself, what have I done? Not what am I going to do, but what have I done? Where has my mind been? And where is it now? The moment you ask the question, you have power over your mind again. The moment you have the realization that your mind has wandered away, you have the ability to come back. That's meditation, that's yoga, that's inner peace. You be the witness of your own mind, your own body. Where have you been in this life? What you're carrying now, where is it propelling you to? And is that somewhere that you want to go, need to go, or not? Because if it isn't, this is the moment where you have the opportunity to shift. This is the moment you have the ability to step out of that being caught in the momentum of the world. One more deep breath in. And then bring your hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. I want you to touch those thumbs to your sternum. So actually press into the heart center and then lift your sternum up into your hands. And then drop your shoulders nice and long and wide and bring your throat a little bit taller. Good. And then from that position of full connection, you're going to breathe that breath into Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please, and then come forward to hands and knees. Good. Spread your fingers wide, knees underneath the hips. Start to move in cat and cow. Good. So part of this witnessing, again, the Bhagavad Gita, the two sides of this battle are the armies of family battle, right? So it's the army of 5 brothers who are our spiritual tendencies or our spiritual makeup. And they're hundreds of cousins who are all of the distraction qualities of our mind, right? All the activity of the mind that doesn't always make sense, that doesn't always work the way that we want it to, that doesn't always contribute to our happiness. And so it's really easy when we think about that battle, that if you're going to battle each one of those parts of your mind individually, is that you're going to be fighting for a really long time. And that's what that to-do list starts to turn into. It starts to turn into that expanding, ever expanding list of what do I have to conquer? Keeps us in a state of conflict, a state of having to move in order to find completion. So instead, can you stop that battle of what still needs to be done and pay attention to what has already happened? What have you already discovered? Good. Next time you come into cat, where your back is rounded, stay there, pull up. So round your back. Good, drop your chin towards your chest so you get the full length on your throat, but push up through the back of your head just a little bit. And then again, dropping that chin so you're lengthening, stretching the neck. And then pull the tops of your shoulders wide so that your lower armpits start to squeeze in. Good, but pull your ribs in, keep pushing up through that roundness of your low back. Good, and then maintain that pulling in, but start to lean, not lean, but pull your sternum forward again. So you're reaching forward from the center of your back, lift the collarbones up and wide. Good, so you're lengthening, you're coming out of that rounded position, but at the same time, you're pulling the navel in. Send your inner thighs back, lengthen your lower spine, press the tops of your thighs back, your tail long. Last thing is to lift your head in line with your shoulders. Good, and then again, squeeze those lower armpits back so your shoulders stay wide. Good, and pull up through the navel, pull up through the ribs, wide chest. Nice. And then maintain that, please. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog without falling into the arch in your lower back and without falling into dropping your ribs. I want that same feeling that you're trying to round your back and at the same time you're pulling your thighs back and you're pulling your collarbones forward and wide and your throat is long. Here, I don't want you to drop the head completely. I want your ears in line with your upper arms at least. Good, pull those thighs back. Good, pull those hips back. Yeah, pull back, but keep that lift of your belly and your ribs. You got it. You can go further back, Karen. Good, you guys. It should feel like you're really working hard. So Carolina, lift your hips higher. Bring yourself really fully back into that down dog. Good. One more breath, you guys. Awesome. And then step the right foot forward between the hands. Good. Left foot steps forward to meet at top of your mat, please. Good, standing forward fold. So bend your knees, bring your hands to blocks or the floor, whatever you need to reach. And then bend your knees like you're dropping into chair pose. Good, so fingertips stay on the floor or the blocks, drop your chin towards your chest. Good, and again, you're rounding your belly up off of your thighs, so round in. And as you're rounding in, you're still keeping that tail dropped, the thighs stay low. Good, relax the head. Keep your hands on the floor. Start to straighten your legs, but keep that curl in your spine. So push your hips up towards the sky, press your heels down into the floor, widen your inner knees. If your knees lock back, bring your weight forward towards the tips of your toes until it's impossible for you to lock your knees. Good. And then stay there. Bend the knees again, drop the hips back towards chair. Notice here where the knees are, because where the knees are here is where they're gonna stay when you straighten those legs. So widen your inner knees, press through the big toe mounds of your feet so your shins are hugging in. Scoop that belly, push your hips up towards the sky, keep your head dropped. As you press your hips up, press into your heels, move your shins forward like you're gonna fall towards the tips of your toes. Good. And then one more time, bend your knees, drop your hips back towards chair. Don't let those knees fall in, push them wide. And then press through the big toe mounds of each foot, scoop your belly. Good, pull that butt back in space. Good, and now the navel's drawn in, sweep the arms up alongside your ears, come into full chair, so lifting your belly up off of your thighs. But as your chest lifts, keep your hips just as low. Pull back through the tops of your thighs. And then pull your ribs back away from your thighs. That's it, and then lift your heart higher. Nice. Good. One more breath. Come all the way up to stand, please. Good job. As you came to stand, if you locked your knees, bring your shins forward, unlock your knees. Lift up instead, lengthen the tops of your thighs and feel your tail lengthen down towards the floor. Good. Hold your right wrist with your left hand and pull to your left. Good. Side body stretch. Beautiful. Come back up to center, please. Switch the hands, reach the other way, reaching to your right. Don't let your hips push out to the side as you do that. Good. Come back up to center, please. Switch to the first hand again, so reaching for that right wrist. You're gonna pull to your left again, and as you pull to your left, your left leg's gonna hold you. I want you to float that right leg up off the floor, just a little bit, like it's reaching out straight to the side. Good, flex the foot, keep the toes turned forward. Good, don't let your hip fall back. Nice, leaning, leaning, leaning. Stretch out through that leg. Good, pull out. Beautiful. And then bring it all the way back up to center, lifting, 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 so that there's no slide, there's no disruption as that foot finds the floor again. Good, switch the hands, go the other way. So reaching to your right, holding the left wrist. Good, and as you reach, that right leg's gonna hold you, the left leg's gonna come out to the side. Keep your toes turned forward. So you have to really keep that inner rotation of the internal rotation of your thigh. And then pull long. Good. Nice. And then as you bring it back up to center, pull up, pull up, pull up through the front of your thighs. Pull up your thigh bones into your hip socket so that it's easeful to bring that left foot back to the floor. Beautiful. And then both feet underneath your hips, bend your knees, drop back to chair. Good. Draw your ribs in, please. Nice. And then right hand comes to outer left knee, please. Take your right hand back, left hand back to your lower spine. Good. Press your sacrum up into your hand. Keep your knees in line with each other. Scoop your navel. Drop your hips lower. Lift your heart higher, and pull into that twist. Any amount. So you're bending that right elbow to bring yourself deeper. Good. Come back to center, please. Come up to stand. Reach long through both sides of the body. Pull up through the tops of your thighs and lengthen your tail down. Don't let your knees drop. Lock back, Jen. Good. Bend the knees again. Drop back to chair. Good. And then twist the other way. So left hand to outer right knee, right hand comes to your lower spine. So you have something to push your sacrum up into. So you're taking your hip points, the front of your pelvis off of your thighs. And then you're bending your left elbow to bring yourself deeper into the twist. And then pulling your left knee back in space just a little bit so that your knees stay in line with each other. Good. I know, I saw that, all of you. Throat back, Lisa, or Molly, whatever you're calling yourself. Good. Come back to center, arms up, come all the way up to stand. Pull up through the front of your thighs. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up to the sky, come up on your tippy toes. So your heels of the hands are pulling up. Good. Pull up on your tippy toes, shins forward. Don't let your knees lock here. Top of your thighs pull up. Front of your pelvis pulls up. And then soften your ribs back and in. Yes. I swear, if this is all you did all day is just go back and forth between chair and this position, is your whole lower body would change in good ways. Good. Relax the heels back to the floor. Nice job. Take your hands to your hips. Good. So right leg's going to hold you. Turn your left toes out like you're coming into tree, but I want you to take that foot just to your ankle. So toes are on the floor, posting on the floor. Good. And as that heel comes up to your ankle, I want you to notice what your pelvis is doing. So almost guaranteed that left hip has swung back in space. Pull it forward so that the right hip that's holding you, the inner thigh, can still roll back. That groin is still soft. If your right hip is cocking out to the side, pull it back in towards center. If you don't know if it is, it is. Pull it back towards center. So that left knee is going to swing forward a tiny bit more than you think is necessary. Let it swing forward so that your pelvis is in neutral. And then start to slide that left foot up your leg, only to the point where it can go with its own power, so no hands. Good. If your hip just swung back, your left hip just swung back, move it forward again. Good. Keep those pelvic points where they are, and then see what it feels like to move your left inner thigh back without letting your hip point go back. Good. You might even have to lean forward a little bit so that your groin stays soft. Nice. Good. Move that inner thigh back and wide, and then stretch the arms up to the sky. Good. Pull up through the front of your right thigh, your standing leg. Nice. Don't let your hips push out to the side. Good. Nice, you guys. Swing that left knee forward again, hug it up in towards your chest. And then cross that thigh over the right, come into eagle pose. Your left thigh crosses over top of your right. Bend that right knee, press your shins together. And then notice if that left hip is falling forward a lot. If it is, pull it back. If you're not sure if it is, pull it back. Arms wide, please. Right arm comes on top of left in front of your chest. Rack the arms so they mirror the legs. Good. Trick to eagle pose is the more that you bend your standing leg, the more stable you will be. So press those shins together, bend your right knee like it's in chair. Lift those hip points up off of your thigh. Squeeze your forearms. Breathe into your pelvis. If your breath stays up in your chest, your center of gravity is not going to settle. You got to bring your breath down. Good. Bring your elbows down to your knees, round your back. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Really good. Beautiful. And then lift the upper body again. Good. And then step back, come out of the pose. I was going to take you somewhere else. I changed my mind. So unwind everything. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Working on Lindsay's frustration. I did not take you where I could have taken you. Good. Let's try tree on the other side. So bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right toes out so that your foot is posting, your toes are posting on the floor, and that right foot is coming to your inner left ankle. Good. So you're finding the reality of the rotation of your thigh here, right? Because if we swivel the hip back here, then when we lift the leg up, our tree pose is going to create more stress on our standing leg. So bring the right hip forward in space and focus on your left hip moving back and your left inner thigh rolling inward. Good. And then whatever angle that right knee is at, that's the angle that it stays, right? So start to slide that leg up your left thigh or up the inner edge of your left leg. Doesn't have to come to the thigh, only to where it can come with its own power. Good. Keep your hip points facing straight ahead. Keep sending that left inner thigh and groin back so that the front of your left leg does not get hard. And then soften your ribs in, reach the arms up to the sky. Good. Feel yourself lengthening, not just through your leg, but through your side body. And you're pushing down into your heel. Good. How you use your energy coming into a pose is going to determine what the pose feels like as you sustain it, which is going to determine what the pose feels like when you release it, which is going to determine what you feel like moving into the next pose. So pay attention, witness. What are you doing while you're practicing? Good. Swing that right knee forward, please. Hug it up and towards your chest. And then you're bringing that right thigh on top of your left for eagle. So you're crossing the thighs all the way on top of each other. Good. Press the shins against each other. Bend your left knee, your standing leg, and then arms wide, wrapping the left arm on top of the right. Good. Nice, you guys. Press those shins together. And if that right hip has spun forward, which it has, pull it back. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. Yep. Good. Trust me to know how crooked you are because I'm the one watching. I'm the one witnessing. Good. Nice, you guys. Bring your elbows forward to meet your knees. Curl into your spine. Round, round, round. Pull your ribs, your armpits up and back. Nice. And then slowly release. Come on out. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Ah. And then exhale, hands down to the floor, forward fold. Nice job finding the full length of your body. Step your right leg way back behind you. Good. Drop the back heel. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Beautiful. Walk both hands inside the front foot. Walk to your right just a little bit until you start to feel resistance. So that front knee is going to stay facing straight ahead over the second or third toe. Walk your hands just a little bit to the right. So again, you're moving your waist away from that left hip point. Beautiful. Good. Don't let your butt pop out. So keep that left sit bone pulling back and in, which means that your right inner thigh, your back inner thigh can pull up and back. Good. One more breath. Bend your elbows. Drop yourself in a little deeper. I want you to put whatever there is in your mind into the position that you're in, the moment that you're in. Don't keep it in that locked battle of there's something that you have to solve. Just bring it into the moment that's here. Good. Bring yourself back towards the top of your mat. Please don't change the legs. Cartwheel the arms up. Warrior two. All right. Bring those arms back down to the floor. Pay attention to how you came into that warrior two. That was a very lackluster warrior two, very unfocused warrior two. So as you breathe yourself into that position, think about how you're placing your arms. So cartwheel the arms up like that right arm is reaching straight back behind you and your left arm is reaching straight in front of you. Don't do all the wiggling. Don't do all the distracted moving of, oh, I'm not sure I want to do this pose. Good. Right hand drops down the back thigh. Left hand reaches up and back, reverse warrior. Beautiful. Hold that reverse position, straighten the front thigh. As you straighten the front leg, pull that left hip point higher, higher, higher. So you're lengthening that left side even more. Good. Press that right thigh up and back into your hand. Nice. Maintain that in the legs. Bring yourself back up to where your arms are in a letter T. And then same focus as warrior two. Extend the left rib cage forward. Come into triangle pose. Left hand drops down to the front leg floor block. Right arm comes to the sky. Good. Don't let your knees lock back. If that left knee, that front knee is locking, bring your shin forward. Yeah. And then from there, try and pull that left thigh bone way up into your hip sockets. You actually have to push your hips up towards the ceiling. That's going to help you straighten your leg, and your knee never has to lock. This is the thing, is even when we are working through those transformations in our mind, like the Bhagavad Gita says that we're doing all the times, it doesn't have to be a battle. It's just growing awareness. But if you never stop and witness what you're doing, that awareness never settles in. Bend that left knee again, please. Good. Release the hands down to the floor. Nice job. Spin that back heel up. Sweep your left leg up and back behind you to down dog split. Good. Press out through that heel. Pull your hips back like you're taking all the weight out of your hands. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Good. And then release that foot down to the floor, downward facing dog. Nice job. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down slow, come through knees first if you need. Good. Arms alongside you, come up on your fingertips. So your hands can be right where they would be for Cobra, but just come onto your fingertips. If you want to widen the hands, you absolutely can, but come up on your fingertips regardless. Good. And then as you press down, I want you to feel your lower armpit squeezing in. So you push into your hands to feel those armpit areas squeezing your side ribs. And then start to lift your chest forward and up like you're going to pull your spine between your arms. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Beautiful. Keep those armpits squeezing. You can even pull those elbows in towards your side ribs a little more. Nice, nice, nice. Good, Lisa, squeeze those elbows in more, drop those shoulders away, pull up. That's it. And then release, you guys. Nice job. Press back up to hands and knees. Take a child's pose, knees wide, big toes together to touch. Hips back to your heels. It's too often that we look at our life as a series of day after day, at the end of the day saying, what did I even do today? Wondering if it was all worth it. And it's that wonderment that we are trying to leave behind with our practice, or to move away from, into a space where we're not wondering if it was all worth it, but where there's just a real awareness of what have you done with your energy today? What have you done with your mind? Because even if you get nothing done in the world, if your mind was in a place where it was generating all of the feelings, all of the reality that you want to be present in, successful day, that's how you win the battle. Downward facing dog. Good. Step your right foot forward between the hands. Back heel comes flat to the floor. Baby toe parallels back of your mat. Take your hands to the inside of the front foot. So both hands to the floor. Keep your knee pointing straight ahead. Walk your hands to the left just a little bit so that you feel resistance. You have to keep widening that right inner knee. So Lisa, widen your knee. Laura, widen your knee. Everybody else, widen your knee. And then as you widen that knee, pull your right butt cheek back and in. Yeah, so it's like you're keeping that line between your ankles, and then your left thigh has to pull up and back. Good. Harriet, pull that butt cheek in just a little more. That's it. Good. And then maintain that. Walk your hands back towards the top of your mat. With real intention, cartwheel your arms up to warrior two. Good. That you're really thinking about warrior two and where there is that trajectory from where you've been to where you are to where you're going. Not just my arms are passively here, not just my mind is looking forward, because where else should it be looking? Good. Drop that left hand down the back thigh, take the right arm up and back, reverse warrior. As you come into that reverse warrior, you feel that hip point lifting to let your thigh go deeper. That's it. And then maintain that reverse position, straighten the front thigh and lift that hip point even higher. Decompress that place where your thigh meets your pelvis. Good. And then push that left thigh up into your hand that's sliding down it. That's it. And then keep the legs like that. Bring your torso back up to where your arms are in that straight line, letter T. And then come into triangle that same way. Reach your rib cage forward and push those hips up towards the sky, up and back behind you. Right hand touches down, left arm comes up. Good. The arms have not changed position from warrior two. They should still have that same feeling that they're reaching straight through the chest, straight through the back of the shoulder blades. Good. Nice. So almost all of you, so that really means everybody, can bring your left thumb up towards the crown of your head more. And then let your palm fall forward slightly. So the hand comes forward, but the top of your left arm bone moves back. Top of your left chest moves back. That's it. And then extend. Triangle is about extension. Find the length of your legs, the length of your arms, the length of your mind. How far can this moment stretch into infinity? Good. And then bend that right knee again, please. Nice job. Release the hands down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Sweep that right leg up and back behind you to down dog split. Good. Pull back, pull back, pull back. But turn your toes down, down, down. So Susan, pull your toes facing down a little more. That's it. Nice, Mark. Good. And then even though your toes are turning down, kick that thigh a little higher. Beautiful. And then step that right foot between the hands, lunge. Good. Drop your back knee. Use a blanket there if you'd like. Anjaneyasana. Inhale both arms to the sky. Good. Let the weight of your pelvis move forward just a little bit, but then pull those hip points up, up, up off of your thigh. That's it. Squeeze the back knee towards the front heel. Hands together at the heart center, please. Prayer twist. Left elbow comes to the outside of your right knee. Good. And just like we started class, try to find where you can bring your thumbs to your sternum. So if you're disconnected with your arms, try to find where your thumbs are meeting at the center of your chest. That's it. And then try to engage those armpits again, where you're actually squeezing your elbows back towards your ribs. Yeah. And at the same time, that's going to help you propel your heart forward and rotate your chest. Nice. Really good. Nice, Karen. Nice, Jen. And then come back to center. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Reach from the back of your left thigh. Pull up and reach. And then bring the hands down to the floor. Nice job. Lift that back knee up, please. Walk your fingertips forward. Step up, standing split. Good. And then once you found your split in the complicated way that you always come into your standing split, don't pretend it wasn't, I just watched it. Bend that right knee, bend your standing leg again. Turn your left toes down and lift that right low belly. Good. And then just like you did when you were doing this in chair, scoop into your low belly. Don't let that knee lock back. Lift your butt up towards the sky. Push through your heel without letting your hips fly open. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. And then left hand stays on the floor or a block. Take your right hand to your lower back and start to come into that twisted position, lifting the right shoulder, lifting your right rib cage. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. At the last minute, if you want to take that right arm up to straight, you're welcome to, but do not compromise your legs. Good. Throat back, Jen. Nice. And then slowly release that hand back down to the floor. Step your left foot forward alongside the right. Bend your knees, dropping towards that supported chair. Drop your belly onto your thighs. Wrap your arms around the backs of your legs. Drop your chin towards your chest. And then holding the backs of your legs, push your butt up towards the sky. Any amount, straighten the legs. Keep your inner knees pushing wide. Good. Don't let your shins lock back. Nice. And then keep that feeling of the lift of your lower back. Release the hands to the floor. Hang for a moment. Beautiful. And then step your right leg back behind you. Nice long lunge. Drop that knee to the floor. Anjaneyasana. Again, use a blanket if you'd like. Inhale both arms to the sky. Good. Feeling that pulling forward. Your back bending begins from your back thigh. Begins from the angle of that leg. So if it's collapsing towards the floor, you've got nowhere else to go. So lift your butt backwards just a little bit, pull those hip points up off of your thigh, and then move your weight forward without crunching into your lower back, without shortening your back. And then lift your heart higher. That's it. Now bring your hands to your heart center without losing any of that length. Prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then again, find the connection where you are able to bring your thumbs towards your heart center. Try to find where you can touch and squeeze those lower armpits in towards your ribs. And when that happens, you can lengthen the shoulders away from the ears and you can push through the crown of your head. And you can lift your left shoulder a little higher. Good, but keep bringing those thumbs towards your heart. Nice. Beautiful, you guys. And then come back to center, arms up. Beautiful. Release the hands down to the floor. Good job. Lift that back knee. Walk your fingertips forward, step up, standing split. Left leg parallels the floor. Sorry, right leg parallels the floor. Good, and then bend your standing knee again. So bend that left knee, turn your right toes down, take that right hip wider and turn it down. Left low belly pulls up. Good, and then just like you did in that chair pose, start to scoop into your navel, push your hips up towards the sky, press into your heel. Let your left leg come to straight, but do not lock your knee. Good, flex that right foot in the air a lot. Beautiful. And then right hand stays on the floor, left hand comes to your left hip or your lower back. Start to turn your belly to the left. Nice. Engage that armpit area, push up into your hand. And again, at the last breath, if you want to take that arm all the way up to straight and find that full extension, still warrior two arms, right? The arms reaching straight through the chest. Good. The chest connecting the reach of the arms. And then release that hand back down to the floor. Nice job. Step your right foot forward alongside your left. Good. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Turn your toes out. Bend your knees. Drop down, squat. Hi, Jen's daughter, whichever one you are. Good. Even here, can you press the palms together? Bring your thumbs to find your heart center. Bring your heart forward to meet your thumbs and squeeze those lower armpits down and back. Good. The way you go into your poses, the way you go into your day, into your breath, into your life. Whatever you're dragging with you, it's going to color whatever you're doing right this minute. And if it stays colored, it's going to carry into the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And the momentum means that your mind stops noticing where it came from and where it's going. The instant you start to question it, the instant you start to look, you gain control of your mind again, power over your mind. One more breath. Good. Optional here, if you'd like to come into crow pose, go ahead and drop the hands towards the floor, turn your toes forward, come up on your tippy toes, lift your hips. Good. If you're not coming into crow, if you'd like to sit in Baddha Konasana, you're welcome to do that. Good. So rolling your weight forward, press those hands to the floor, hug those upper arms. The elbows have to be bent. Squeeze those armpits. Look forward and up. Back of your throat needs to stay long, but curl into your spine like crazy. Push your butt up towards the sky. And then bring those knees to the shelf of your arms as high up towards the armpits as you can go. And squeeze. You have to squeeze. And push that butt to the sky. And lift the back of your heart, the back of your throat. Nice. And then slowly come on down. Everybody find a seat in Baddha Konasana. Good. Nice. Alana and Jason, you guys are in a lot of shadow, so I can't see you very well, but it looks like you're doing great. Bottoms of the feet together, please. Good. Walk your hands forward. Find your forward fold. Beautiful. If you choose to hold your ankles or your feet, remember that drawing down of the armpits at the tops of the shoulders can naturally find more length, more wideness, which means that your neck can naturally find more length. What we do with asana is we're decompressing. Pretty much everything that we do is meant to reorganize and to decompress where the body has gotten overly stuck, where there's too much pressure. So start to notice the places in you that habitually have too much pressure and realize that that's what you're doing, decompressing. It's not about strengthening all the time. It's not about stretching. It's not about changing the body, although we do transform through asana. It's about witnessing what's there and then making that more spacious. Same thing with meditation. It's witnessing what's in your mind and then realizing that there's a spaciousness that is within that and beyond that. Good. Walk yourself back up, please. Take your legs out wide. I like it when you come up out of a forward fold and you're smiling. Some of you are naturally doing that. Some of you are frowny faced, which is okay too. So legs wide, please. Good. Just for a second, dig your heels down, pop your knees up. Good. This is going to tell you already, right? What are my thighs doing when I'm in this pose? So your thighs, tops of your thighs should be rooting down and your pelvis should be tilted slightly forward. Good. And then I want you to maintain that tilt of your pelvis. Start to press the heels out again so that the tops of your thighs find the floor. Don't lock your knees. Yes, you can lock your knees here too. Don't do it. Good. Turn your belly towards your right leg, please. One hand on either side of the thigh. Good. Turn, turn, turn. And then walk yourself forward, forward fold. Nice. Keep turning the left rib cage. Keep turning the left rib cage. Keep turning the left rib cage. And keep sending the top of your left thigh down to the floor. That's it. What have you done today already? And again, it's not with the purpose of judgment that we look at that to say, oh, I've wasted so much of today worrying about this or getting into that sort of argument or getting in this sort of a fight or struggling with this one thought. That's not the point. It's nice to notice that so you can say, I really could have enjoyed the sky. I really could have enjoyed my breath. I really could have made myself something nourishing to eat. I really could have done maybe something else. But if that was the battle that you were in, witness it. What did you gain from it? And whatever you gain, to bring that into the next moment, into this moment. Good. Stay low in that forward fold. Walk yourself straight ahead. So come forward into your straight ahead forward fold between the legs. And then again for a moment, and in that straight ahead position, drag your heels back and in, pop your knees up. Yeah, so those little spidery legs again. Good. Resend those groins down and back. Retilt your pelvis just a little bit so that you get more length from your sacrum. Pull long from the back of your lower back. Good. And then send the heels out and down. Let the thighs come back down to the floor. And then walk yourself all the way over to your left leg. One hand on either side of that thigh. Turn your belly, turn your ribs. Forward fold. If you came all the way up, that's totally fine. Just realize that you automatically, by doing that, change the angle of your pelvis. So try to find that position again where your groins are going down and back, where you're reaching long from the back of your sacrum, but you're also pushing the tops of your thighs down and not locking your knees. Good. Even here, your legs are connected to your pelvis, which is connected to your rib cage, which is all held together with your spine. Find the places that are stuck. And that's where you go with your breath and your attention to decompress. Good. The moment you notice where your mind has been, you have the power to bring it into the here and now. Beautiful, you guys. Come back to center, please. Walk yourself all the way back up. Good. Stretch your arms up alongside your ears. Good job, those of you who came up and smiled. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up to the sky. Good. Pull up long. Use those legs. So push down into your heels. Squeeze those thigh bones up towards the center of your pelvis. Maybe even squeeze and lift your pelvic floor. And then feel that pressing down through the tops of your thighs. Good. Lean forward. Find your forward fold. No hands. Keep your arms in line with your ears. Keep your ears in line with your arms. Good. It's going to be really frustrating. I told you that I can give it to you as well as help you resolve it, right? So pull forward and up from the back of your sacrum. Extend forward. Send those groins back and down. Send those thighs down. Send those heels down and squeeze in. Yes. And then release the hands down to the floor. Really good job, you guys. Good. Walk your hands back in. Beautiful. And then bring your feet back towards each other. I know the lion's breath is totally necessary. It really is. Good. Find your way onto your backs, please. Good. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Good. Squeeze it in. Keep your left foot where it is. And then hold behind your thigh. Please extend your right heel up towards the ceiling. So you're holding behind the thigh. Press the heel straight up. Yeah, so you're in a hamstring stretch with the right leg. The left knee is bent, foot flat on the floor. Good. And even here, don't try to lock through your knee, but try to push that thigh against your hand. Move the top of your thigh back away from your belly. And then send your tailbone down towards the floor. So you're tilting your pelvis forward as you push that thigh into your hands. And then extend up through the underside of your ankle. Get long. So you're not pushing back through your knee at all. You're pushing through your thigh and you're extending up through your heel. So you're lengthening from that back of the sacrum through the heel, and you're pushing down the lower edge of your sacrum and your tail. Good. If that left butt cheek is clenching, let it go. Nice. And then maintain that, stretch the left leg all the way out and down to the floor. See what happens, how that changes that feeling of stability. As that left leg extends, press the heel down into the floor. Good. Drag back just a little bit, and then press the top of your left thigh down. That's the leg that's holding you. Nice job. And then hold the back of that right leg that's in the air. Keep hold of it with your right hand. Let your legs start to drop wide, but don't let your left hip go anywhere. Maybe the left hand even comes to the top of your left hip point and pushes down. Good. So that leg goes wide. Good. Again, we're talking that same rotation that you would have in tree. Turn your heel up towards the ceiling just a little bit more. That's it. Good, Harriet. Keep your left top of your thigh down. That's the leg that's on the ground. Good. And then bring that leg back up to center, please. Beautiful. Bend the knee back in towards your chest. Come into spinal twist the other way. So bring the right knee across your body. Let the both hips turn. And then drop that right knee all the way down to the floor. So bring it all the way to the floor. Your shoulder's going to pop up. That's fine. Bring the knee all the way down and then reach that right arm up alongside your ear. So you're turning this into more of a side body lengthening and less of a, I'm trying to force my lower body into a twist. Good. So the right knee relaxes. That right rib cage and shoulder can drop back any amount that it wants to. But focus on that breathing from armpit to hip. Good. Nice, you guys. And then slowly bring it back to center, please. Hug that knee back in towards your chest. Good. And then place that foot down to the floor, knee bent, foot flat. Good. Take your left knee in towards your chest, squeeze it in. Hold behind the thigh, extend your left heel up towards the ceiling. And then you're doing the same thing as you're tilting your groins forward, you're tilting your pelvis forward so that you're finding more of the length of your lower sacrum, right? You're keeping that. And then if your ribs popped up when you did that, you're going to soften your ribs back and realize that it's not going to be perfect, both your ribs and your lower back anchored to the floor. So you're just going to be in that place in the middle where you're trying to find the full length of your spine. Good. And then again, you're pushing that left thigh into your hand, so you're moving the top of the thigh back away from your belly. Good. And you're extending up through the back of your heel. So you're not pushing into the knee. Good. But you're lengthening your calf. You're extending up through the heel and then pushing down through that lower part of your sacrum. So keep that left edge of your sit bone and your tail reaching down to the floor. And then push that leg back against your hands. Good. It's not a battle with your body. It's not a battle with your mind, but it's witnessing how can we change the dynamic so that there is a peaceful relationship. It's the whole point of yoga, whole point of asana. Good. And now keep that, extend that right leg out to straight on the floor. And as that right leg comes to straight, press down through your heel. Left leg is still lifted. Press down through your right heel. Feel like you're dragging that thigh up into your pelvis, and then press the top of your right thigh down to the floor. So it's like you're lengthening back out through your tail, lengthening back out through your heel. Good. Nice, you guys. And then left hand holds the back of that left thigh. Right hand can relax or come to the top of your right hip. Let the left leg fall open to the side. Again, almost like you were doing a straight-legged tree pose. Good. Name for that would be Padangustasana, but you know, who's worried about that? Just me. Good. Send that inner heel up just a little bit more so you feel that rotation. Send the top of your right thigh down. You're going to feel your belly work a little bit. That's great. Good. And then bring that leg back up to center. Hug the knee in towards your chest. Come into spinal twist. So taking the left knee all the way across the body, let it fall to the floor. So let your shoulder come up, let that knee drop to the floor. And then left arm comes up over your ear, extend from armpit to hip. Good. And again, that left shoulder can fall back as much as it wants to do, but that's not the point. Nice, you guys. Slowly bring it all the way back to center, please. Hugging that left knee in towards your chest. Good. Bring the right knee in with it. Good. Take your knees wide into happy baby, reaching for the ankles or the inner or outer edges of the feet. Keep that low back pressing down to the floor, so you're still trying to find all of your sacrum reaching for the floor. And then pay attention to the angle of those legs. Your shins, your heels should be in slightly further than your knees. Your knees should be wider. And your heels should be coming in slightly. That's it. And then you should be squeezing your knees up towards your side ribs just a little bit, because again, that helps you to draw your groins down towards your tail. And that angle of the pelvis means that you have an easier time dropping those thigh bones in, which means you have an easier time of letting those knees drop to the floor alongside your armpits. Good. And then slowly release, please. Squeeze the knees in towards your chest. Good. Hold behind your thighs, start to roll forward and back on your spine. Good. Bring yourself up to balance in boat pose. So balancing on your sit bones, you can hold behind the thighs, just pull up through your spine. Good. Pull your knees in towards your chest, pull your belly towards your knees, lift. Good. And then stretch the arms forward just for a breath. Relax your shoulders, Mark. There you go. And then go ahead and start to roll again on the spine. Yeah. Nothing with rigidity. Whatever you do, don't get stuck in I'm accomplishing it or I'm not. Come up and balance on your sit bones for fun. You're not accomplishing anything except maybe making yourself smile. There you go. Nice, Sarah. Good. One more time, roll on the spine. Good. Come up to balance, pause. Maybe go ahead and stretch your legs all the way out to straight here. And for fun, take your arms up alongside your ears. Good. Even more fun, Lisa's holding her feet in that straight-legged. That's awesome. Good. I know there's two Lisas, so the one who is not doing that is like, not me. Awesome, you guys. Good. Come on, press your, take your feet to the floor. So come up to sit. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Good. Flex your feet, dig your heels down. So again, you're pulling your thighs up and into the pelvis. So already it's like you're pushing your butt back. And then stretch your arms up to the sky. Reach. Good. Draw those armpits again down and in. Squeeze those armpits in to feel your chest lift. And then from your pelvis, start to lean forward. So tilt forward. Send those groins down. Send your tail back. Forward fold. Good. Paschimottanasana. Nice. Keep extending. Keep reaching. Nice, Kristen. Good. Jason, just really reach through those arms. There you go. Beautiful, you guys. Slowly release, come on back up. Good. So I'd like to give you the option for an inversion of your choice, depending on what you have available in your home. So if you would like to do headstand or handstand, you're welcome to do that. If you have a wall, you can absolutely use your wall to set up. And if you need me to walk you through it, I will. If you don't, and you would rather shoulder stand, because you can do that just right where you are, laying down on your back and bringing the legs up to the sky. Good. So either full shoulder stand where the hips are lifted, or keeping the low back on the ground and just lifting the legs. Beautiful. So choosing some form of inverting, you can do legs up the wall if you have furniture or a wall that you can do that. You can even just, if nothing else is available, you can bring a block underneath your seat in bridge pose. Good. Although my suggestion would be that if you're doing that, you can still take your legs up to the sky and let gravity do what it does. It's really nice, you guys. So Harriet, hug those arms towards each other. Good. And then you have to really fold your ribs in. Bring your weight of your pelvis forward. Bring your thighs forward. So you got to take one leg off of that door. There you go. Yep. And pull your tail up towards the sky. Pull up, pull up, pull up through that heel. You got it. Nice, Susan. Good, Carolina. Beautiful. Love what you're doing, Lindsay. Very nice, Lisa P. Really nice, both Lisas, but good. Keep your breath moving steady. We invert partially because when you come out of this position, especially, is the action of being upside down, the reversal of blood flow, the reversal of energy, the focus that it takes to be upside down means that your mind comes into a state of calm. Maybe only a little bit calmer than it was, but it allows the mind to relax just for a second. So it's in those moments where there is a break in our thought pattern, where there's a break in what we've been doing habitually. That's when we have power over our mind again. Start to look for and notice those moments. And if you can't find them, do something to create it. Couple more breaths where you are. And then as you're ready, allow yourself to come out of your inversion. If you are in shoulder stand, you might want to just rest on your back with your knees bent. If you are in headstand or handstand, coming into child's pose or just sitting on your heels. Letting the breath return to normal for a moment, letting the spine settle. Good. And then begin to find your way onto your backs if you have come off of your back. Bend your knees, please. Take your right ankle on top of your left thigh. For a moment, lift that left thigh or left shin parallel to the floor. Hug the legs in. As your legs hug in, relax your shoulders. So if holding the thigh means that your shoulders tense, let go of the leg. Find your arms wide if that is the case. Good. Low back on the floor. Beautiful. And then place that left foot down to the floor. Step the foot wider to the left. Drop your legs to the right. Twist. Good. If the knee doesn't like having the weight of the ankle on top of it, step the right foot down to the floor. Good. The knees don't like this position in general. You can always stack the left knee on top of the right. Creates a different effect. Good. And then slowly release, come back to center, please. Plant both feet. Left ankle comes on top of right thigh. Lift your right shin parallel to the floor, reach through to hold, flex both feet. And again, if reaching to hold your thigh means that your shoulders curl up and start to tense, then don't hold the thigh, take your arms wide instead, and find the wideness of your upper back by pushing down through the back of your shoulders. Getting wide between the shoulders and the ears, long throat. Good. Place that right foot down to the floor, please. Step your right foot wider to the right, drop your knees to the left, spinal twist. And again, if the ankle does not feel good on top of the knee, step it down. If having the legs wide in this position does not feel good on the hips or the knees, you can stack the right knee on top of the left. The moment you have power over your mind again, you have the ability to change everything. But it's not through judgment that we do it, it's through realization. Which is the end goal of yoga, is not to become the best person, but to realize the fullest embodiment of the person that you are. And that is the best version of you. But your mind can't grasp that. It doesn't know what that looks like, it just imagines it. So we start to witness, what has my mind been doing? Not just so that we can reorient it if it's gone astray, but so that we can realize how much we do, how much we are. Come back to center, please. Hug your knees in towards your chest, squeeze. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees, hug. And then slowly release, extending the legs out in front of you. Good. Letting the feet drop open, arms alongside you, palms facing up. Move your head from side to side. Good. Notice again if there's still congestion on one side or another. Maybe it means you change the angle of your arms. Maybe it means that you put a prop underneath your head so that there's a little bit more space in your neck. Maybe it means that you put something under your knees so that there's a softness in your lower back and your spine. And then drop into your breath. Fully witness the moment that you're in. No attempt to change it. What has your mind been doing? Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath, allowing the body to begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw the knees in towards the chest. Roll to the right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. And just for a moment, I'm going to give you a mudra to hold. We have another breath or two of meditation. So the left hand is just open palm. The right hand, you're going to close into the forefingers into a fist, thumb pointing up. You're going to drop that the heel of your right hand into the palm of your left. So you've got just like that thumbs up pointing straight to the ceiling. Yeah, and then you're holding that. So it's going to be this way. You're holding that right at your belly or right at your lap. Yeah. So this is Shiva Lingam Mudra, which means that you are taking that energy that is Shiva and you are combining it with the energy that is Shakti, that's the left hand. But that lingam is the point where everything originates from and then expands. So it's bringing yourself back to that origin point. Let the eyes close. Breathe deep into your belly. Breathe deep into your pelvis. And that question, what has my mind been doing? What have I done in this lifetime? What have I gained? What have I realized? There is no to-do list. There's just a right now list. And this is the moment that realization happens. It's a moment when you are not following your mind, but you're observing it. You're able to see beyond, to feel beyond, to know beyond. The original point, the point of peacefulness that your mind expands through and from. It has never changed, will never change, that peaceful point. The mind can be distracted. So we practice to have that awakening, that realization that the mind has wandered away. And as soon as you realize, you have the ability to come back. So no more, what do I have to do? Just every moment, what is it that I've realized? What is it that my mind is doing? And can I find that still original point? And bring everything into that. One more deep breath. And then either holding this mudra or letting it go and bringing the palms together in front of the heart center, your choice. If the palms are coming together, bring your thumbs to touch your heart and your heart to reach up to your thumbs. We'll close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Bring palms together if they're not already. Slide those thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Again, a witness to the beauty of your own mind and your own body and your own spirit, even if they seem like they are all running in different directions. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to unmute you so that you can smile and say happy things.